month now. Welcome to Postmodern, and over the next 4 weeks I'm going to be joined by Faith No More, who'll be sharing their hopes, fears, joys and ambitions with us here on Postmodern. Welcome again to Europe. You're back for the second time this year. And welcome to Helsinki. It's pretty jolly cold out there. Have you guys been out? You been doing the rounds?
Yeah, we went sledding this morning. That was really fun.
Jolly.
It was a 20-dog team. Usually they do 18, but they put on another 2, so we went a little bit faster than the average sled.
It's an amazing thing you can make dogs do when it's cold outside.
Something that MTV Sports should take a look at.
Yeah.
We're going parachuting after this interview, too.
Yeah. I was gonna go put my tongue on a cold telephone pole.
So is this cold something that you've been used to? Something you geared up for? Or is it really just...
Not really. Last time we were here, it was really, really warm. It was on the longest day of the year, and there was sunlight, you know,
This is, you were doing
24
festivals,
hours.
is that right?
Yeah. Just went up and did a festival. It was really warm. No cold at all. This is our first time, I think, touring in, like, hardcore winter weather.
Do you think the tour that you did with Guns N' Roses and Soundgarden and Metallica has prepared you for what you're going to be doing now? Because you're headlining your own gig now.
Well, just because we're playing every day, like, we've learned the art of hanging out in hotel lobbies, you know, or not leaving our room, and that it actually can, the zen of hanging out in your room and never leaving the hotel.
So is this,
The zen of
new
sloth.
experience.
this is really part of rock and roll lifestyle. You don't get out and take a look at the
No,
towns
rock and
that you
roll
get
is
to.
not wanting to know anything about anybody else,
Yep.
but
that's
having
what it
them
is.
want to know everything about you.
But you are going to
Live
be
in a cocoon.
sampling, you know, the delights of Finnish cuisine, that kind of thing. Is that something you'd be into?
Sure.
Reindeer meat?
Bear meat,
Well, that's all they eat up here.
sort of Grizzly Adams sort of aesthetic.
Kind of fits with the cover of your latest album, Angel Dust. We've got lots of meat photos. You're just working in the same idea, right? Here.
Kind of not.
Okay, well, that certainly...
Let's just
sorts
not
that
tie
one
those
out.
two things together. huh?
Yeah.
We're going to be taking a look at a video from Sonic Youth, very much, well, I think still on the alternative edge there a wee bit. You guys seem to have crossed over a bit more, I hesitate to say mainstream, but a wider audience, which Sonic Youth maybe have yet to do. Do you think you kind of missed that alternative thing, tag, label, want of a better word?
Well, we still stop by the alternative club every once in a while and have a few drinks, you know. Say hi to old friends.
Pay our
but
respects. Look down our noses.
we go to the annual alternative club dinners that they have, you know, around Christmas time, you know.
It must be getting
The
close.
Christmas parties are pretty good, actually, at the alternative club.
Yeah, it's like an Elks Club kind of thing. You gotta wear horns. It's a real drag.
Yeah, last year Eddie Vedder was Santa Claus.
Oh, wow, well, he probably moved on this year. He might not be there this year.
I know, well, yeah.
We're going to take a look at Sonic Youth anyway, and join us in a few moments because we'll be back doing some modern. I'm joined by 3 of the guys from Faith No More. The funk kind of metal tag you've worn for a while now, and I was just wondering how many albums as diverse as Angel Dust you're going to have to release before you lose that.
I guess we dug ourselves a hole, huh?
This album might do it, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting the question less and less. Are you a funk metal band? Which is a good sign. We never were really comfortable with it from the very beginning. I would say one more record and it should be out of the way. Then we'll go back to doing that.
Yeah, it never was.
Confuse everybody.
It never
Yeah.
was a thing anyway. It was just, you know.
Was it just something that journalists
I think it was a
throw into-
journalist, speculation kind of thing.
We're the kind of band, I think if you call us anything, we'll say we're not that anyway. So, I mean, you know, it's funk metal, who knows what they'll call us next time, but we're not that either, I guess. We'll say we're not.
Working with bands like Metallica, people obviously make the connection. But I mean, you're not metal, I don't think.
Well, we don't like to be called metal anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, being called anything is kind of not what we're all about.
Yeah, how do you like somebody telling you what you are? You know, like, well, you're just a dumb blonde.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
After a while, you just kind of learn to nod your head a little bit. Oh, yeah, I guess maybe.
Maybe
I might be a dumb blonde. Yeah, all right.
Am I that?
Okay, whatever you
You
say.
say so.
But doesn't it become annoying if you have some kind of attitude about your own music?
That's the thing, we don't. So it's easy for us to kind of learn how to nod our heads.
Yeah,
Play the game.
The categorization thing is really must be just something that people don't know when there's music that comes out that people don't have any idea where it should go. It's just like trying to find
Yeah. I mean, what you call something doesn't really end up mattering. It doesn't change what it is, so it doesn't really bother me what people say we are.
Yeah, if you look at it as that, as just kind of a journalistic tool, you know, they're calling things certain things so people can relate to it. I mean, I don't have a big problem with it.
Yeah, if people think that way, that's fine. It's just, you know, if somebody calls you that, you want to try to make yourself as open as possible, you know, and have, I mean, people are not just one thing, you know, they have all, you know, different things in their personality. So, I mean, you have a right to defend yourself, and they have a right to call you whatever they want, I guess.
Does it make any difference to the audiences that you get? I mean, is it a headbangers audience or not? Is it quite diverse?
Don't really know.
Ooh, yeah, what's a headbanger?
There you go. It's a label.
Yeah.
Everybody falls into the trap. We've got REM up next on Postmodern, a band who've said that they're not going to tour in Europe until 1994. They didn't tour the last album. They're not touring this album. Is that something that you could foresee you guys doing in the future? Maybe just putting out a couple of albums and not going on the road?
I can't even picture being in a band that could, you know, not tour. I mean, that's what keeps us alive, so.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing.
I can't believe anyone could say
really
yes or
cool.
no. Yeah.
It would be cool. I think the only way we could get away with it is if we did like a totally just studio record that we couldn't play live.
Yeah.
Then we would have no choice.
If we did an
Then we
easy
couldn't
listening
tour.
record, that would do it.
Otherwise, I think we're pretty much primarily a live band.
Yeah.
So it's good for us to tour and let people see us so they can understand what we're about.
So they can apply the tag funk metal if they want to.
Sure.
Well-
Funk metal live band.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you like REM? Is it your kind of music?
Some of the stuff I think is kind of cool.
I like when Michael Stipe travels over the audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since doesn't have to play live, you know, he can make a video of himself being passed around.
Yeah.
Tide people over a bit.
Figure that one out.
Take a look at what would Postmodern be if we didn't play Nirvana. Now, in lots of ways, you guys were doing what, I guess, the grungy kind of thing way before Nirvana came on the scene and the whole Seattle sound was known as the Seattle sound. How much do you think you paved the way for that Seattle wave of music that's, you know, riding the big wave at the moment?
I would say just as much as Liberace paved the way for us.
Not much at all.
Well, it's kind of weird. We were like one of the first, I guess, weird bands to kind of get on the radio or something. And since then, a lot of bands that are kind of strange have been getting signed for a lot more money than we did. So I guess we did help.
But I see us as being like way weirder than anything. Like Nirvana, I think, are a really great band, but I think all their songs are just great rock songs. They're real, I mean, they're great, but it's just, you know, rock
Real
songs.
catchy,
I
yeah.
think what we do is like pretty obscure and hard for people to understand. A lot more difficult for people to understand than, say, a Nirvana song.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
yeah, a lot of the Nirvana songs sound kind of like almost like harder bass-y roller songs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is great, you know, man. They're good songs.
When you guys started, I mean, the interest or the industry interest wasn't there in the underground so much like
Yeah.
it is now. Does that make it more difficult for you when you started?
Would you,
I think when we started, yeah, it was more difficult for us. Had we started right now and we're looking for a record contract, we probably would have got a better deal and it would have been a lot easier for us. At the time, we just kind of took what we could get and ran with it.
but I mean, we're different than a lot of these other bands, like the Seattle Sound. I don't think we sound like any of them. So really, for us, still, we have a lot of work to do on our own, just to because this record's different than the last record. We don't really have even our own sound, really. So it's kind of we're kind of in a whole different kind of game.
But do you sympathize with what the whole Seattle thing is about, or is that just a tag again because we don't have a word for what's coming out of this particular area in the States?
I'm not really sure if that's the same kind of, if it's just a tag or if bands are kind of making it a tag.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell who it's coming from. So I don't even know what to say about that.
We used to play with Soundgarden like a long time ago. They used to open up for us, like before they ever had a record deal or anything. But they're just like really, they're nice guys. I think their band's pretty cool. But like, I think a lot of those bands up there don't like each other very much. So I don't know what the thing is, the Seattle thing.
Yeah, there's got to be in a scene like that. I imagine there's a lot of animosity,
Sure.
backstabbing,
Right.
You mean people
If it's
trying
that
to-
incestuous, there's got to be backstabbing.
especially when there's a movie being made about them all.
Yeah, who's going to star in it?
They've got to,
instance?
yeah, they got to
Yeah.
fight for the parts.
Got to
We
be a little
don't have that
pecking order.
problem.
Yeah, Bridget Fonda, sort of thing.
And Matt
Okay.
Dillon won.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at Nirvana now. We've come as hour of Postmodern. This hour we're concentrating on the video collection of Faith No More. And the first video of yours we're going to play is Epic. Which I guess was, well, for us anyway, it was the breakthrough video for an MTV audience. I mean, do you see it as your breakthrough single?
I don't know if we realized it at the time, but looking back on it, sure looks like it was a breakthrough single for us. Because it's kind of now in retrospect. Yeah, I guess it was pretty much the one.
It's the one that got us into all this trouble.
It got you all this press.
Yeah.
When you play it live, is it like your Stairway to Heaven? I mean, do audiences go completely nuts when it comes up?
It seems sometimes, yeah, that people may be just waiting to hear that one song. That's why we play it last, try and make them stick around.
Yeah, we do that old rock trick.
We got these other good
Yeah.
songs, so listen to these first.
Yeah, we use that as, you know, bargaining power almost.
The bait. It's here. Not yet, but it's here.
Now, speaking of bait, the fish sequence in that video was always brought up as a rather controversial.
Nice
thing, but
segue.
Yeah.
Go on.
Wasn't that controversial though, really, was it? I mean,
It was pretty silly.
I think people, when we thought about doing the video, we thought about that as an image, just a really beautiful image to use in the video. And then I think more than anything, like press people kind of, or maybe like our managers or something, made a big deal out of it to seem like it was a bigger deal than it was. So we were put in a position like to defend it.
what do you think of the video now? In
Epic?
light of what you've done, yeah.
Looks a little old and crude to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems a little dated.
A little
I'll say.
flimsy. But
This is early Faith No More. Now, Postmodern, we're taking a look at the videos of Faith No More, and we're going to take a look at Falling to Pieces from The Real Thing, 1989, I think it was released. How important are videos actually to you? Because we've talked about, you know, you're playing live, and that's really, really important. But how important is the video business end of things to what you do?
We actually kind of like them to be really important, but most of the time, I mean, in the past videos that we've done, they've been really pressed for time. We're always hearing these things like, there's a deadline, quick, we've got to come up with a concept for the video in like, 20 minutes. Not really like that, but it's been really like rushed. If we can spend time with videos, I mean, it can be really important and they can turn out really great.
Yeah, usually it's real
Sometimes-
fun to try and apply a visual image to what, you're doing. But when you have to, rush it like that, it becomes more like a chore.
Do you have much to do with, what...
We like to, yeah.
yeah, that's why it's such a pain, because we have to like approve everything and make all these decisions all the time, and it can be frustrating with deadlines. Plus, it costs so much money to make them.
It's great though, because we've reached a point where we realize that, we can't like put our foot down and say, no, well, forget about the deadline. We've got to, make this the way we want it.
Can you
Yeah.
talk a bit about the one we're going to play, Falling to Pieces? Does that represent what you had in mind after your 20-minute consultation?
Well, back then we didn't realize so much that we could put our foot down. We just sort of,
Well, we did though. We had a lot.
a little bit, yeah.
Like with Epic, we had a lot to do with the
This-
ideas and the director.
This one was kind of a rushed one, I think.
It
though. We
was,
didn't have
yeah.
so much to do with this one. We just kind of, we liked the first director that we used for Epic, so we used him again and kind of talked with him a little about what we were going to do for the video, but it was pretty rushed.
In fact, we filmed it on a day off.
Yeah.
We were somewhere else. We flew in, filmed it, and left, or something like that.
And it was a little more vague. We just kind of liked the director and the look that he gave, Epic. So we had actually, trusted him
With this
to
one?
do a second one, yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a look at it. The video we're going to see on Postmodern is Midlife Crisis off your acclaimed Angel Dust album. Just before we get to the video, I wanted to find out how you approached writing this album after The Real Thing and after the touring and working The Real Thing. Did you need to go away and find quiet time, or do you write on the road? How does it work?
We needed some time, yeah, kind of away from each other more than anything, because we'd spent, about 2.5 years touring our last record, so.
And we didn't write on the road at all. Nothing.
Yeah, we were completely out of practice, really, as far as writing went, so it took a little time for us to get our heads together and just be apart.
And was that good creatively for the band to just take that time out? Because you were all doing different things, weren't you? Was there movies? Was it Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey happening there? And
Yeah, Jim was off being a movie star. Mike was doing his own band.
Yeah, we all got
Actually, I
real
started playing
indulgent.
with Puffy about 6 weeks after the tour stopped. We played for me and Roddy and Puffy played for about
Yeah, I guess so.
3 or 4 months.
We didn't take much
Pretty
time
consistent.
off.
No, we didn't.
but do you need space to write the lyrics?
Yeah. It's hard to do if you feel, like there's a deadline or forced, that whole thing again, but I intentionally took a lot of time this time.
Yeah, there's nothing like, feeling pressure from, a record company or something, but we didn't really. We were pretty much left alone during the whole writing of the record, so it was pretty easy for us.
Yeah, the hardest thing was just getting back into songwriting mode after you tour for so many years, because it's a whole different mentality.
Yeah. There was talk that when you had the record near completion or whatever and took it to the record company, that there was like, oh my God, this is going to be too much for the fans that you, or the fan base that you'd built up, and that, you know, people weren't going to understand this, guys. Is that true? Or?
They didn't like it at the first listen, definitely, but most people don't. They'd have the record anyway. I think that that's kind of something we're seeing on this record.
It's a natural reaction.
And we kind of, I mean, it was kind of our thing too. I mean, they were asking to listen to the stuff that we were doing for a long time, and we said, no, just wait until it's finished. And then when we actually finished it, we didn't put it together for them to listen in any sort of like linear kind of fashion. We just kind of like threw everything on a tape and gave it to them, so they didn't really, you know, understand what was going on.
Yeah, it would present it in the most convincing way possible.
Yeah,
And we
they're a
knew
little
that the
cocky.
pressure was like boiling up, you know, over there, and so we just like kept stalling and stalling, you know, to get them really excited, and it worked.
What about Midlife Crisis? I mean, how did that song come about? You don't look as if you're anywhere near about to have any midlife crises.
As far as the lyrics, I don't really know.
Me neither.
I
Well,
kind of
Buffy-
started playing around with a little Simon and Garfunkel sample and came up with a melody. We thought it would be a really good song for Madonna to do, but then we just started playing it ourselves.
And the way we see it is the way it ended up.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
It's, you know, one of the more, I would say, one of the straightest songs we've ever done. I think it was kind of an exercise in discipline for all of us. He plays one note through the entire song.
Yeah. You know what's interesting though is with the video, it's really good with the song. It could have gone, if you listen to that song and you don't see the video, the song could have been a really slick, cheesy pop song, or it could be the way it is. And it kind of shows you how powerful video is and how you perceive the song itself. A lot of people think it's a really dark, heavy song, and it kind of took us by surprise.
There is an image in there, isn't there, of a man being drawn apart by horses that some people find a little disturbing. Whose mind was behind that idea?
Actually, it was our director's idea, and we were all really into it. MTV in America, I think, wouldn't play it for a long time. They saw the video and they kind of refused. They said, no, we can't show this. It's going to give people the wrong idea. Kids are going to go out and try this. Like, kids are going to go out and tie themselves to horses and be pulled apart.
Horses or
and
Harleys
all get
or
in
something.
trouble.
So how did they actually do it in the video? Did a guy
There was a
die?
bed of springs
died.
underneath him.
He died. Got ripped apart. He died.
We
just
did it in
killed him.
Mexico.
This
He
is
wasn't a
snort
very
video.
smart guy. He was kind of dumb, so it didn't.
He was having a midlife crisis.
We got his family green cards.
Yeah, maybe we should take a look at it and see what actually does happen. Midlife crisis. Finishing off tonight's Postmodern in Helsinki by taking a look at Faith No More's latest video, or current video we're playing on MTV, A Small Victory. When you're recording your songs, do you think visually of videos while you're making the music, or is this something that happens a lot later on in the process? Like some people, I think, probably write visually anyway and they have a video in their mind before they even, you know, or is the music first for you always?
I think we think visually. I think we try to create something that we already see, like to music. Like I think when we first started playing, we wanted to do soundtracks for movies. Like that's the way we were thinking, like a long time ago, and making atmospheres and stuff. So I think we still kind of write like that.
And this song in particular, I think we were thinking, I mean, this to me is like the slickest kind of song that we've done. And I think when we were making this song in particular, we were thinking like a video along the lines of the one that we made for this, very slick and polished.
It is like a film set in this, isn't it? There's sort of lots of like sets happening and action happening all over the place. It's a really full kind of video.
Disco.
Disco video. You've had this song remixed by Youth from Killing Joke, who seems to be the remixer of the moment. Why did you cotton on to him? Do you know him of old, or?
We kind of liked Killing Joke, you know, a long time ago when they were starting. We're kind of into that band, and they were kind of a big influence. I kind of see him as doing something that we're kind of doing too. I mean, we started off, you know, in a certain sense along those lines, something really heavy-hitting, and now look, we've done a disco pop song for our record. So in that sense, we're doing similar things.
Kinda.
Do you like the mix?
I'm crazy
Yeah,
about
I think
it.
it's great. You
Yeah,
know,
it's real good.
It's the first time we've given our material to somebody or whatever product, whatever you want to call it, and say just do what you want with it and see what you come up with. and they brought it back, and we were totally happy with it.
Yeah, usually
That's really rare.
with what we do, that's the last thing you want to do is give what you've done to somebody and let them rape it or whatever.
Yeah, it's
But
hard
he
to
did
let
a
go
really
of
good job
something.
of raping it. Kind of made it better than it was before.
Yeah, he's got a good ear.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
rapist.
We're going to take a look at a small
He raped us and we liked it.
finishing off tonight's Postmodern. Don't forget, next week we'll be back in Helsinki doing some more talking about videos, music, life in general. So take a look at this, and don't forget, midnight next Wednesday. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Over the last 2 weeks, and will be for this week and next week. About halfway through your tour?
Just about
Sure
halfway
feels
through.
like it.
Halfway through, we're still wearing the same clothes.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Outrageous.
Haven't slept either.
It's been rough.
It's been pretty tough, actually, yeah.
We're going to play Midlife Crisis next here on Postmodern. Now, there was talk that the song was actually about Madonna. How true is this?
Well, the song actually sounds like a Madonna song, so it's real easy to say that it's about Madonna, too.
You could apply it to her, though, as far as midlife
Sure.
crisis goes. She's
Easy.
dealing with her own personal midlife crisis right now.
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
doing it in front of the world, which is real fascinating to me.
Yeah, she said she had a quote that said, well, I've worked hard for this body and it's not going to last very much longer, so I might as well show it off now. That's what she said about her book, and so it actually makes a
makes
lot
sense.
of sense.
Oh, yeah.
But don't you think it might be the typical reaction of a girl who was once chubby, and now she has got this amazing piece of equipment? And it's just like saying, I was like that then,
Yeah,
but
she
I'm
wants
like
to
this.
spend it before she loses
Yeah, it's
it.
desperation. That's what it is.
Do you think it is?
Yes.
Have you
Well,
seen...
now that she's got it, she can only lose it.
Yeah. Where else could she
Oh,
go?
It's so sad.
But that's why, yeah.
Do you think that's what a midlife crisis is possibly all about? Not having been there, of course, you guys.
Losing what you have, yeah, I would say.
Sure.
Sum it up.
You're dying, right? Yeah.
Have
I
you
would
seen?
say so.
Have you seen her book or heard the album?
I heard the album. I haven't seen the book yet.
I saw her video, man. I thought it was amazing. I loved it, and I don't even like her at all, but I thought it was really cool.
Okay. Should we dedicate this to Madonna then?
I'll
Let's
go with
all
that.
collectively not.
Yeah.
I'll go with
No.
it. I'll nod and I'll say yes. I'm a dumb blonde.
Coming up next, we have video from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, a band you guys toured with in 1987,
Yep.
right? And have been compared to relentlessly, so I'm sure you're absolutely sick of it. Are you?
We compared?
Yeah.
You mean like size-wise, or?
Hey, what do you mean, muscles?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Physically?
We can do anything, they
For a
can do
long
only
time.
better.
We haven't on this record, though, been compared to them.
Yeah.
If we were more successful, maybe there would be a little...
Yeah, I would say if we had a #1 single, there'd be some comparison.
Yeah.
But no, that isn't the case.
Do you like what they're doing now?
I'm happy for their success. I think that's great.
They deserve it. They must.
Is that all though? I mean, do you think that, oh, okay, the success is deserved, you definitely do, but would you go on the road with them again, do you think, or?
Let's not talk about things like that, would you? No, it's not bad. We have nothing against them at all.
Oh, no, it's not bad. Let's just not talk about it.
Should we just play the video? The Red Hot Chili Peppers for joining me for this hour of Postmodern. We've got another hour to go, but before we get there, we're going to play, I guess you could say, maybe you could put me right on this, but a Seattle supergroup, Temple of the Dog, and their song Hunger Strike. I'm just wondering what you think of the whole idea of grunge becoming mainstream and whether the party's over now.
I think the party's just begun.
And we're all invited.
The whole thing's gonna break wide open. Eddie Vedder's the host, and we're all coming.
Have you seen the movie? I guess that the next thing is to make a movie, which they have done, Singles, with Matt Dillon. Have
I
you seen
saw it, yeah. It's like 30-something with cool T-shirts.
It's like the Saturday Night Fever of 1992.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
it? Does it accurately reflect what's been going on, or is it really a Hollywood pastiche of the whole thing?
I haven't seen it, and I also don't know really what it is like, so...
It's
sure
not
there are
really
people-
about music, I think, is
So-
probably one of the disillusioning things that people think if they go and see it, that it's a movie about, like, a music scene, which it's not.
It's a love story, correct?
Yeah, it's just it's a love thing.
It's like sensitive kids, right? Pretty
Yeah.
good kids, well-meaning.
College
They
kids,
don't take too much drugs
cappuccino
or
drinking.
anything. They
No.
care about the environment.
Yeah, and they're
So it's
interrelated.
not-
I think what happens is I think the industry is inventing a new myth. I think the rock myth, like the Guns N' Roses myth and all that, is getting a little old, so they're inventing a new one for people
Yeah.
to buy.
And it's selling.
It's
Yeah.
Like
why they make a
hotcakes.
movie about it. Well, if the movie Singles doesn't accurately reflect the theme there, it still seems that there's a lot of angry young bands coming out of America at the moment, particularly that area. I mean, why is it now that this is happening, that these young bands seem so kind of bitter and twisted about everything?
It's not like a thing that's happening now. There's always been angry young bands. It's just that angry young bands are marketable right now.
Yeah.
They're easy to sell, but they've always been there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Just comes and goes.
So we're in the second phase, or the third phase, or
It's
whatever.
probably been going on as long as there's been happy, nice music, you know.
Disco music.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a look at Seattle supergroup Temple of the Dog and their song Hunger Strike. We're saying goodbye to, as I mentioned before, 3/5 of Faith No More, but they will be back next week. So stay tuned for the rest of Postmodern and join me again next week at midnight.